Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky. We went and got a job to explore unexplored territory, Midnight Forest. So we're gonna go do that. So right now there's not much, but now Nidoran joins our team, and I'm gonna be completely honest, this isn't gonna be fun, because, like, Nidoran is not very good at, like, fighting. And they can get killed shockingly easily. So basically it's Shaman all over again, except this one can't actually even defend itself, which is less than optimal. But, you play the cards you're dealt. So Midnight Forest kind of looks similar to one of the dungeons in Igglybuff's story. Are they actually the same dungeon? I just realized I don't actually know. So Nintendo announced the Nintendo Switch Lite, which definitely should have been called the Nintendo Light Switch. It looks like a pretty good alternative to the, Switch, at least for some people. I'm definitely not into it because I like, playing on the television, but some people don't really need to, so good for them. And yeah, the National Dex controversy for Sword and Shield is still going strong, and honestly, I think I gotta say I'm on the bring it back crowd, because, like, there's really no reason that literally the biggest media franchise in the entire world can't have slightly bigger production values. Like, there are files for, walking animations for every Pokemon in, Ultra Sun and Moon. Either that or it's just in Sun and Moon. And that game still managed to fit all those Pokemon, and they didn't even use the walking animations. And, like, they said that it was because there'd be better animations, and I mean that'd be acceptable, except we've kind of seen that there really aren't. They're just kind of the same as always, which is really disappointing. So it kind of seems like there's no real reason to do it. And especially with them announcing, like, Pokemon Home, it's like, why would you do that? I really hope this is just a one-time thing, because the way they future-proofed the models. Like, part of the reason that Sun and Moon didn't run very well is because they had really high-quality models on the 3DS. Like, if you've seen those, like, videos of, like, oh, we removed the outlines and emulated Pokemon Sun and Moon, like, the models all look quite good. I mean, they don't look, like, stellar like in Pokken Tournament, but obviously that's more acceptable because there's so many of them. But if they've already got the models, there's really no reason they couldn't put them in. And, like, if they were going for balance reasons, then just let you not transfer Pokemon until you beat the game. Like, I feel like that's pretty simple. And, like, with Sun and Moon, it took a few months before you could even transfer Pokemon into Sun and Moon, because Pokemon Bank wasn't updated to have that functionality. So that is kind of lame. Yeah, because I mean, Pokemon kind of built its entire thing around having them all. Like, that's the whole Pokedex thing. Meanwhile, with something like Digimon, that's not really the focus. It's on its own kind of story, and doesn't really focus as much on get every single one of them, so they can afford not having every single one in one game, because it's, and then it's like a surprise when they brought back, like, hey, yeah, they brought back that one, I really like that one. But it's not, like, expected of them, thanks to their own internal marketing, that they have every single Pokemon in existence. So, I mean, really, Pokemon did this to themselves, but it's still quite it's just really disappointing, because, and I mean, the graphics, they look okay. Like, I'm not one of those people that are like, oh, look at that tree, that doesn't look like a tree, that looks like garbage, because, like, it's not even out yet, it's got, like, months before it's out yet, and, like, Breath of the Wild, like, it had pretty bad looking trees on release, before release, but, I mean, if you're in Core Forest, there are still bad trees in release. I also kind of wonder if they're going to do some sort of Switch Pro thing, which I kind of hope they don't do, because, like, the new Nintendo 3DS wasn't a great, like, it wasn't great that there were games you could only play on it. I mean, I can get having, like, Xenoblade Chronicles exclusive to that, because, I mean, that game is much better portable, because of it being an RPG in general, but there's really, oh yeah, this, Nidoran is instantly dead, because of Silver Wind. Palladium are the worst in this game, especially for this mission. Well, basically any Pokemon that you can use Silver Wind, because, spoiler alert, there's more! But yeah, it's just really disappointing, because, like, every Pokemon's gonna be somebody's favorite, because they all have nice, unique designs, except for some of them. But yeah, just overall in general, it's really disappointing that they're not treating it with the care that I honestly believe it deserves. Because, like, even, like, most of the spin-offs have every Pokemon, and they're just gonna have a main series game that doesn't. And, I mean, to add to that, the first main series game on console, like, even if they announced, like, oh, once we release, the next Pokemon game, which would probably be, Pokemon, I don't know, Star Platinum, then, like, the only reason remakes, like, the remakes were made, like, so that you could have your Gen 1 and 2 Pokemon in Gen 3, because you couldn't trade, and that was a problem that they recognized needed to be fixed. So they just made straight up new games just so you could have every Pokemon. And, like, that's really significant. And, like, they've removed so many features. Like, there's no Z moves, there's no Mega Evolution, and while Dynamaxing and Gigantamaxing are cool and all, I don't feel like that really makes up for removing so many gameplay mechanics. Like, the Battle Frontier was great, and they don't have that anymore. And I believe they stated in some sort of interview that, it was because, like, don't quote me on this, but it was because, like, they wanted to surprise players with, like, mechanics and like, their return, if they return. And it's like, no, that doesn't really fly. Like, it would be, like, in Pokemon Gold and Silver, thanks to Iwata, like, having the entire first game, well, most of the entire first game's, like, world, that was considered a surprise. Not like, oh, we took this away so we could add it back in later. What a surprise. Oh, that's a pitfall trap. It'll send you to the floor below you, which in some cases can be advantageous, but in other cases cannot. I didn't actually remember what it did, so I didn't take it, but it would have actually been, like, good in this situation, because it takes me to the next floor down, which is the desire of... I wasn't aware I could talk that fast for that long. Oh, and there's a special, Switch Lite Pokemon edition. Yay. Oh, and then some people are saying that, oh, the reason they can't have all the Pokemon is because of storage space, and that just doesn't fly, because, I mean, obviously, 3DS games are smaller than Switch games, like, storage speaking, and yet, there are still every Pokemon minus, let's say Sword and Shield adds 200. Like, Sun and Moon had like 800. We don't have a key, we can't unlock this. I never really remembered that there were keys, but yeah. Maybe if you're a ghost Pokemon you can get in there, but it doesn't even say there's anything in there, so I don't know what the deal is with that. But anyway, yeah. If they could store all those Pokemon, there's no reason they couldn't store a few, like, less than, like, 25% more. And, like, again, the models are all basically the same. It's just, like, different shaders and stuff, because they've already got such a high polygon count, especially for 3DS. Like, man. Like, again, they look impressive, and it's just really disappointing that they kind of decided to not try very hard with this one. And what's really annoying is, besides that, like, the entire game looks spectacular. And, like, they even have Pokemon walking around. You could say, they just didn't have the time to, like, give every Pokemon a unique walking animation, except they're already in the files of the previous game. So, like, even Digimon lets your Mons walk behind you. Why can't Pokemon? Like, I love Pokemon, and I want them to walk behind me. They couldn't. Let's go. There's clearly no real problem. I mean, and yeah, I know you have Bike and stuff. I just hope there aren't HMs, because I wouldn't put it past them to edit those at this point. But, like, you could just, even if you didn't want them, like, going on a bike, because then you'd have to create, like, all new animations, you could just straight up, like, this is Kecleon Shop, but anyway, you could just straight up, like, have them go back into their Pokeball once you, like, once you get on your bike. And I mean, I get that, I guess they'll have entrance animations, but I'm not even sure if those are new. So this allows Pokemon that needed trading to evolve, and I only have enough money to buy one of them. So, which one should I get? Though I'm gonna be going with Pokemon Shield, because I mean, obviously you gotta have Goomy. But yeah, I just really hope they change their mind about it and they can patch the others in. I'm sure, like, again, it's not really that big of a deal. And thus, after 25 floors, we get You're on the final floor, you'll escape from the next dungeon. From the dungeon. Alright, what's the reward? 600. 800 Explorer rank points, honestly, that's not bad. Wonder what's in that deluxe box. We'll have to get it appraised. next episode.